Hi, we're going to be doing a Mat Pilates class. So find somewhere in your home that you can lay down. A blanket can be really handy, especially for knees or lower back, and maybe water close by so we don't need to run away. This class is open level and beginner friendly, but of course, if you have any injuries, anything going on with your body, please modify. In person, we really take pride in working with our clients and making sure we're giving you the right modifications for your body. So follow along and do your best. Let's go ahead and get started lying down on our back. So we're coming into a position where we call neutral spine, making sure that your head is down. If you've got a hair elastic in the wrong place, just moving it now. Head is on the mat, neck and shoulders relaxed, and you've got this natural curve in your back, and we call this neutral spine. Take a nice simple breath in through the nose. And as you exhale out the mouth, just draw the rib cage down, press your mid back towards the mat, and slightly tuck the tailbone under. Our bum stays on the floor. Let's try that again. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, tuck the tailbone slightly under, press the mid back into the floor as if you're squishing a blueberry behind your back. Good, and again, inhale through the nose. Exhale, imprint spine, breathe out the mouth. Beautiful, drawing the rib cage in. Let's do two more. Inhale. Nice. Exhale, draw the rib cage down and in. Think tight and light. Nice. One more. Inhale. Exhale, draw it back in. Let's hold that imprinted spine. Bring right leg to tabletop. A tabletop position is a 90-degree angle where the knee is above the hip and the ankle is in line with the knee. Let's bring the right foot down to the floor and change legs. Left leg. Beautiful. Hold there for a moment. Now let's take just keep an eye on your hips, making sure they're not shifting side to side. Our goal eventually is to keep alternating right and left, marching one leg at a time without the hips moving too much. Now don't worry if your hips are rocking side to side, that's okay, we're working on it. We're just going here for another 30 seconds, one leg at a time. So there's no squeezing of the core right now, but there is an engagement. So there's a presence. You're aware of your rib cage and hip to connection, rib to hip connection. Beautiful. Let's do one more on each side. Beautiful, feet to the earth, little rest here. Interlace the hands behind the head, elbows nice and wide. So your head is resting in your hands, feet firmly on the floor, neutral spine. Take a breath in, head is down. As you exhale, tuck chin to chest, lift the head and shoulders up and gaze between your inner thighs. Inhale, lie down. Exhale, abdominal curl. Now you can breathe out through the mouth with your mouth closed, but there's really no right or wrong if you want to make a sound or a sound. Really just making sure we're using the breath with our energy. Good, these are our abdominal curls. Being mindful that we're not pulling on our head or our neck. Our head is resting into our hands. The work is being done by drawing the rib cage towards the hip as you exhale and lift the head and shoulders up. Of course, if you need to take any breaks, just do that at your own pace. Now coming up next, we're going to do what I love to call a party pulse. We're going to stay up with the head and shoulders, and we're going to do little party pulses, rib to hip, rib to hip. I like to use my breath percussively here, like, but you can continue with your smooth breaths. We've got another 30 seconds. Maybe you might start to feel the burn in the upper abdominals. Don't worry, we'll take a rest in another 16, 15. Counting you down, we've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Nice. Let's combine those two exercises. So we're going to inhale, head down. As you lift your head and shoulders up and exhale, lift the one leg into tabletop, head and shoulders lifted. Inhale, foot comes down, head comes down. Exhale, change legs, abdominal curl. Inhale, head down, foot down. Exhale, alternate legs. We've got our tabletop march. If this is too intense for you, you can go back to just the legs for a few moments, or you could just do the upper body again. Whenever you feel ready, you can join the two together. Nice work, everyone. Let's go for another 3, 2, and finishing off your last one. Let's do hip bridges. Hands by your side, feet firmly on the floor. We're going to get a little bit of a rhythm going up here. We're going to lift our hips up and squeeze our glutes quite quickly, but then we're going to come down really slowly, articulating through the spine. Now, when I go up, I squeeze my bottom quite firmly, and then on my way down, I'm holding my bum squeezing, but I'm rolling from the top of the spine, middle of the spine, lower spine, tailbone last. Up quick, squeeze bottom, down slow, slow, slow. And again, up quick, squeeze glutes, down slow, slow, slow. Taking your time, like a string of pearls, rippling down onto the floor, vertebrae at a time. Last one, everybody. Up quick, down slow, slow, slow. Excellent. This time, come up quick and halt. Squeeze that bottom, and we're going to alternate heel lifts. So your ball of your foot stays on the ground, and you're alternating heel lift one at a time. Now your goal here is to keep the hips high as you can, squeeze that bottom, but keep the rib cage drawing down. Sometimes when we puff up the chest too much, our back really arches and a lot of pressure comes into the neck. So really making sure that our tailbone is tucked, lifting one heel at a time. If you like a little bit of extra spice, you can lift both heels up and down off the mat at the same time. You may feel this in the back side of the body. You might even feel it in the front of the thighs. That's all normal. Maybe starting to warm up through those calves. In another 10 seconds, we're going to keep those heels high off the ground in 3, in 2, keep both heels off the ground and finish off with tiny little hip party pulses. Squeeze that bottom, lift the hips up. Normal if you're feeling it burning, we're nearly there. We're about to take a break. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and rolling down like a string of pearls again, bringing it all the way back down. Nice. You can swish your knees side to side if you need a little bit of a breather. All right, team, we've got one more exercise on our back before we roll over. Some of us will need a blanket underneath our bottom/lower back. I personally don't, but I'm going to show you where it goes. Now, the blanket can be as high or as low as you want. You want to use this blanket to help tilt your hips so it's easier to keep your legs straight. Let's go ahead and bring both legs into a tabletop position. So knees are stacked above your hips and your feet are in line with your knees. We're going to relax the arms by the side and we're going to come into what we call a butterfly clam, open and close, open and close. So the feet are staying together, the knees are opening and closing. Let's talk about what the spinal position is in. It's in an imprinted spine. So whenever we lift our feet off the floor in Pilates, we're pressing our mid-back into the mat. Now, for anyone who gets lower back pain from day to day, Pilates is a great way to really strengthen the core and take load off the lower back. So I'm a huge fan of strengthening these kinds of muscles. All right, when you're ready, we're going to keep the knees closed. We're going to straighten one leg up to the sky. Now, if your back of your legs, your hamstrings are really tight, you may only get halfway, and that's totally fine. Bring it back to tabletop, change legs, extend, 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 and back to tabletop. Keep alternating. Now, as you become more open here, your legs will become straighter. This is where yoga can really complement Pilates. I'm a big, big fan of doing both yoga and Pilates. They both strengthen and stretch in different ways, and they can be really nice to interchange from day to day. Let's say Monday you're doing a really strong Pilates workout. Tuesday you might do a gentle flow. Wednesday you might do a yin and meditation. So it's a good way to keep the body moving and challenging the mind and body as well. Now let's make this a little more challenging if you'd like by extending both legs at the same time. Big press, exhale. Inhale, legs tabletop, exhale, extend. Don't worry if you don't know when to breathe in and breathe out. Your body will naturally continue to breathe. I tend to say exhale on the effort. So if the hardest part is straightening and stretching the legs, that's when you exhale. Let's go for 2 more. Last one, hold the legs straight, and we're just going to do little scissor kicks, tiny, tiny forward and back, little paddle, paddle, paddle. Point those toes. It's really important that we keep those feet active. If you start to get a cramp, you can change it to a flexed foot just to change it up. But we want to remind our feet that they've got to stay active. And again, straight legs, keep kicking. If your lower back is hurting and you need a break, just hug the knees to the chest for a moment and then come back in. We've got 10. Kick, 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 kick. You've got it. 9, 8, 7, and a 6. Go a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and 1. Normal for the thighs to feel achy. All right, let's take it a little bit further now this time. A single leg drop. Let's go ahead and point those toes. One leg is going to drop towards the floor. Now, don't worry if your leg doesn't go all the way down. Just do your best. Imprinted spine, head stays down. Inhale, exhale, zip it back to the top. So a bit of pace here. Slowly on the way down, nice and controlled. Nice. Feel the length and stretch in the hip flexors. Use your exhale to zip it back to the top. And again, leg drops nice and slow. Core engaged, normal to feel shaky. Zip it back to the top. Keep going, my friends. A reminder that your head stays down, shoulders drawing away from the ears. Again, if you need to bend the knees, this is a really nice variation. Still working this single leg drop, but you've got your knees bent. Okay, so no need to push beyond back pain. We really want to make sure we're doing things in a very supportive way and progressive way. It's like we don't go to the gym and we lift 100 kilos on the first day. We might start with 1 kilo dumbbells, stuff like that. Here in the studio, we have Pilates balls, we have weights, we have wrist weights, ankle weights, booty bands. We have so much equipment to help us gain strength. Some days we just do workouts with just our own body weight, and that is enough. We can do so much with just our bodies. We just need someone to help us motivate us a little bit and just inspire us with different moves. Let's do 1 more on each side, whatever version you're going with. Nice work. And hug knees to chest. Cool. If you need a sip of water, now's a good time to get it before we roll onto our side. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and lie on our side. Support your neck and shoulders. Of course, you can take a blanket under the head as well. Your knees are bent in front of you, but your feet are tucked towards your bottom. So it's like a triangle shape. The most important part here is that your bottom hip and your top hip are aligned. So what happens sometimes is we tend to roll forward, or most commonly we roll backwards. So keep an eye on that. If you were in my class, I'd be walking around the room and double checking that you're in alignment. There's a little gap here in the waist, and that's because you're trying to actively draw the top hip away from the body. It doesn't have to be a huge gap. We're beginning our clam series. We're going to keep the feet together and we're going to open the top knee. Open and close. Open and close. Don't worry if your knee only opens a little bit, just do your best. Everybody's range is very different. You can keep your top hand in front of you on the floor and making sure that the hips stay stacked and we're not rolling forward or back. Nice work. Let's go for another 4. Hold this last one at the top. Your kneecap is trying to face up. We're going to do knee to knee connection, toe to toe connection. Knee goes down, foot goes up, foot goes down, knee goes up. Now this is going to work your brain as well. So that's the good thing about Pilates, not just a workout, but you're also working your mind, which is super important as we get older, that we're really working our memory and coordination. So knee to knee connection, toe to toe connection. Yes, the hips will roll a little bit here, but our goal is to keep it nice and still. Knee to knee, toe to toe. You might be starting to really feel the fire in that top butt or leg. Feel free to have a little break. You can tap it out and then get back into it. So I always say it doesn't matter how many breaks you take, just make them short. Let's go for another 10 seconds here before we kick out this top leg. In 3, 2, I'll be kind and give you a little bit of a pat out. Nice. Now we're going to lift the knee and foot up at hip height or a little bit higher. So this is below hip height, this is above hip height, this is roughly at hip height. I want you to flex your foot, so opposite to point. And what we're going to do is we're going to kick in front of us. We're going to bend and extend. Now, if this is way too intense for you, you can kick away from your body, bend and kick away. So just feeling into where do I need to be right now? Where am I feeling challenged, but I could maintain for another 30 seconds? So whether you're kicking in front of you or away from you, we're keeping the knee at hip height. Let's go for a couple more before we finish with party pulses, my favorite. Use your breath. Exhale on the effort. Last one, everyone. Let's hold that straight leg and party pulse up and down. Little tiny, tiny pulses. It's okay to make funny faces and funny noises. Use that breath. We're going for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pat it out. Let's stretch that bottom out, roll onto your back, and the leg that was party pulsing is going to cross over the opposite leg to take a figure 4 stretch where you can grab hold of the opposite shin and release. You definitely feel this stretch because we just activated those muscles. Before we do the other side, we're going to roll back the same way and come into a forearm side plank. All right. So let's double check. Is my elbow underneath my shoulder? Check. Your ear is away from the shoulder, so the chest is proud. Knees can be bent. As you get stronger, we'll straighten out the legs. You can also take any variation depending on where you're at today. I'll demonstrate the middle level where one leg will be straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this top arm up and we're going to gaze up at the top arm. We're going to thread the needle, inhale, exhale, extend. Thread the needle and extend. So our gaze is following. We're stretching our neck, rotating the trunk and the torso. Beautiful. If you wanted to make this stronger, as you reach your arm up, the hips start to lift off the floor. Inhale, hip drops, look down. Exhale, look up, hips up. You got it. Keep going. Inhale, exhale. On your next one, we're going to stay up and hold. If this is too intense for you, bend both knees. You can always drop your hips down, and we're going to hold it up for 20 seconds. Really stretch this arm away from you. Notice if you're hypermobile, you may have a tendency to open this arm back behind you. I want you to check in with that alignment. Keep that arm up. If the neck is feeling tired, you can always look down at that bottom arm. We're here for 5. You've got it. Hold on. Nearly there. 3, 2, release. Nice. You can roll out that shoulder. We're going to swing our legs to the other side to repeat that all again. And yeah. So you can't run away now because then you'll be uneven, and we don't want you to go off on your merry way, having one butt cheek stronger than the other. We definitely want to get balanced. So lying on your side, opposite side to what you were before, neck and shoulders relaxed, knees bent, feet slightly tucked in towards your bottom, hips stacked, one on top of the other, little gap between the waist. Imagine there's a blueberry here. We don't want to squish that little blueberry here. Hand can be in front of you for support. Let's begin with our clam. Open the top knee, close. Feet stay together. So at our studio, we have Mat Pilates classes nearly every day of the week. I'm super proud to be offering those. We have a couple of instructors. We have Mandy, who's a classical Mat Pilates teacher, and myself at the moment teaching contemporary Pilates. I fuse together all my different modalities that I've trained in, ballet, bar, and I've done a lot of strength work as well. So I'm really making sure I fuse that, and you never get bored. I used to be a musical theatre performer, so I have a very big love for music. So I'm always infusing that into my classes. All right, let's go into our knee-to-knee, toe-to-toe connection. Knee goes down, foot goes up, foot goes down, knee goes up. Knee goes down, knee goes up. Foot goes up, foot goes down. That's it. We're going internal rotation, external rotation. Hips stay stacked. You got it. Inhale, exhale. Squeeze that bottom. Inhale and exhale. You got it. In and out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. A little release. Coming into our kick-outs. So we're bringing the knee and foot at hip height. We're going to flex the foot, and we inhale, prepare. Exhale, we kick in front of us. Now, if last time you kicked away from your body, you want to do the same on this side. So really important that we keep it symmetrical, doing the same thing that we did on the other side. Inhale is a bent knee, exhale is the straight leg. You got it. Now, if you've been coming to my classes for a long time, or you've been practicing for a while, and you come into my classes and I notice that your form is amazing and you're really strong and you need a challenge, we have ankle weights in the studio. So I always encourage you to really see how your energy level is on the day and seeing what you need, but you can always grab that and it makes your workout 10 times harder and very quick burn as well, if you like that, because some people really love that sweaty, hot, messy burn, you know? All right, we're nearly there. Let's do one more before we do our party pulses. Here we go, straighten that leg. Here we go, up and down, little straight leg pulse. If you're taking a break, little pat it out and then keep going with those party pulses. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Release. Nice work. They say never trust and Pilates instructors counting. Let's go ahead and stretch that glute. So roll onto your back. The leg that was party pulsing is the leg that's going to cross over and then thread the needle and come into your glute stretch. Now, if you are short for time, you can always just finish off this side plank series, pause the video and come back and do the rest later or another day. All right, time to roll back onto your side for that forearm plank series. So once again, elbows underneath the shoulder, hand is flat, chest is proud, and your knees are stacked, side plank. Reach the arm to the sky. Just for now, keep the bottom hip on the floor. Inhale, thread the needle. Exhale, extend and gaze up. There's a beautiful breeze here at the studio. I've cracked the screen open a little bit. Even when it's not great weather, it's just a nice aura to be in this space. You can hear the trees. A lot of people think that the screen is pretend, but it's real. It's a real garden, and we have a clear screen to protect the weather. And when it's nice weather, we open up the screen completely. When you're ready, lift your hips up, squeeze your glutes, side plank. Moving mind, body, breath connection. Hip goes down as you thread. Exhale, unfold, lift the hips. Remember, you can always straighten that one leg or two legs to make it a little bit harder, depending on the challenge that you need. On your last one, let's stay up and hold. You've got it. Stretch that top arm. Really think about chest and hips being open. We're here for 15 seconds. If the neck is tired, look down. 3, 2, release. Little roll out. Nice work, everyone. All right, we're going to come onto our tummy. Before we come onto our belly, I want to explain how our abdominals work. So we have abdominals at the front of our body. Okay, we have our transverse abdominals, and then we have our side of the waist core muscles, which are our obliques. And then we also have our core muscles that wrap around our back. Now, sometimes when we really activate the front and we forget about the back, our core isn't entirely working. So now we've done front, we've done a little bit of side with our side plank, and we're going to activate the back muscles just a little bit. So come onto the belly. Now, if you have a bony pubic bone, you can thinly put out your blanket in front of you. All right, so with our legs just hip width apart, relax your feet. There's no engagement here of the legs. They will stay down. Let's bring our forehead down onto our hands, elbows nice and wide. Relax the hips for a moment, yeah? We're engaging the upper body to begin. Let's lift the head, the elbows, and the chest a little bit off the ground and lower as we exhale. Inhale, lift head, elbows and chest. Exhale, lower. Don't feel like you have to go up too high that you start cranking into the mid back or especially the lower back. Think smooth, think controlled, and don't be fooled by small movements. They can be really, really effective. When you're ready, stay up. Keep the chest lifted and open the arms to a capital T. Bring it back to the forehead. We go out and in. So my feet are staying down and I'm looking down at my mat. My chin is slightly tucked in to keep the back of the neck nice and long. If you're feeling really tired here, you can always take a rest and then join in again. Arms keep going out and in for 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold those arms out straight and just pulse the arms up and down. Fingertips touch, fingertips lift, down and up. So our chest is staying lifted, but our hands are going down and up, chest fly. If we were in class, I would maybe give you the option to bring those 1/2 kilo dumbbells into your hands, but of course you can do it without. For 5, 4. How high can you lift? 3, 2, you've got this. Last one. Hold it up, 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 and release. Nice work. All right, now we're going to introduce breaststroke arms, where the arms go forward, side, and down by your thighs, bend back to reset. For this one, let's keep both our hands on the mat next to our chest. Our elbows are close to the body, feet relaxed. We're going to do one arm at a time. Stretch one arm forward, palm is facing down. Swim that arm straight all the way down by your thigh. Then bend the elbow into the body and rest. Change arms. Stretch forward, side, then back into the body. Rest, hand down. You can keep going, alternating right and left arm, or if you're feeling ready for it, you can go ahead and add both arms at the same time. Just a reminder that your feet aren't lifting off the floor, they're staying down. Chin is slightly tucked in, elongating the back of the neck. Let's add that breath. Inhale, stretch the arms forward. Exhale, sweep it down and behind you. And again, inhale and exhale. Give me one more, everybody. Sweep it forward. Exhale, sweep it back. Turn your head, rest completely. You can again give your hips a little bit of a sway. All right, let's slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself up. If you need to take a drink or a stretch, now's a nice time. This is called shell stretch or child's pose. We're coming into our 4-point kneeling work. If you need, roll that blanket underneath your knees for extra support. So when we do any kind of work on the wrists, you may feel a little bit of loading, you may feel some achiness, and it's the same with all our muscles in our body. So when we start doing abdominal curls, some people start to feel it in the neck. As the neck becomes stronger, just like a bicep becomes stronger, the neck tension goes away. Sometimes we start good, our abdominals get tired, and our neck muscles start to take over. So this is the same thing with the wrists. We're loading them very slowly. Take your time. If you need to take a break, take it. 4-point kneeling. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Now our elbows are tracking backwards. They're tracking towards our knees. We're going to inhale, drop the chest towards the floor. Exhale, press away. So the action is bending and stretching of the arms. Notice you don't want to send your bum back behind you. That's a little bit too easy for what we're working on today. Even if you keep the bend really small, that's okay. Inhale, bend, exhale, press. Your goal is to kiss the floor, press to the top. So eventually you will get your nose in front of your hands. You can keep doing that until you feel tired. Now let's say you're really not feeling it because it's quite easy for you. You can go ahead and walk your knees back and do the same thing. The tummy does not touch the floor. You inhale, bend the elbows, exhale, press up. If you want to take it a step further, you can absolutely do this on your toes. Inhale, bend. You could put your knees down to come up and keep going. Let's go for another 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. So you may have felt the triceps there. Now we're going to go back into the booty and the legs. We're going to come down on our forearms. Hands will be flat on the floor. Once again, the knees are coming underneath the hips, okay? So our bum's not back and it's also not forward, right underneath. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Underneath the shoulders, that's right. Hands flat on the floor. Let's start to take juicy circles with one leg. Now what we're doing is we're working the range in our hips. Now hips are super important because the hips are the gateway between the upper body and the lower body. And our hips hinge, they help us sit and stand, so it's really important that we strengthen them. So right now I'm moving my left leg, but I'm not letting my knee touch the floor. Really big circles. And now I'm going to change directions. I'm going to move in the opposite direction. My neck is long. I'm looking down at the floor. What I love about a lot of these Pilates moves is that you can actually be working quite a lot of muscles at once. So right now we're actually working the forearms and the shoulders. We're engaging the core. The belly's not dropping and flopping, it's lifted and engaged. We're working the thighs and the glutes as well. Let's go for 3 more circles here. 2, and 1. Step that leg back. I know you wanted a rest, but we're going to hold a plank for 10 seconds. Join the front leg to the back leg, plank position. Bum trying not to be up in the sky, trying to keep that bum at shoulder level. If you need to put your knees down, you can. We're here for 3, 2, rest. Nice. Stretching out those arms, and then we have another leg to do. All right, come down to the forearms. Make sure we've changed legs now. We're going to do big, juicy circles. Now you'll notice here that my trunk, the top half of my body, is really still. Sometimes we really want to get big circles and we start to move the back around. Now I'm exaggerating here, but your goal is to keep the trunk really nice and steady while moving that knee and thigh. Let's change directions, opposite way. So you may feel this in the moving leg, or you might feel it in your supporting butt, okay? There's no right or wrong. Both are activating, just noticing. Let's go for another 4 circles before we finish off with that big plank hold for 10 seconds. All right. Let's step that leg back. Let's prepare ourselves. Make sure our elbows are underneath the shoulders. Take a breath in. Mind goes there. The body will follow. Step that leg back. Plank position. Knees can be down or up, making sure the bum's not too low either. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done, everyone. All right, we've got a little bit more to do. We're coming to sit on our bottom. Now, since becoming a mother, my tailbone is a little bit sensitive, or more sensitive than it used to be, so I love to use a thin blanket under the tailbone. You may feel fine and you may not need it at all. All right, we're coming to what we call an L-shaped spine. So see, my back is nice and straight. I'm going to inhale here. As I exhale, I'm going to tuck my tailbone under, round my spine, tuck the chin slightly in, and have a rounded spine. This is a C-shaped spine. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, rounded spine. So I'm holding the back of my legs, and to make this harder, I could reach my arms out in front of me. As you get stronger, you might go further back down. Inhale, L-shaped spine. Exhale, C-shaped spine. There's one thing I want you to keep an eye on, and that's not lifting the heels off the floor. So we really want to dig those heels flat into the floor. On your next one, hold your C-shaped spine. Bring your hands close to the ground and start to pump the arms down, 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 down. We call these the hundreds arms. Now, if your lower back is hurting, I encourage you to sit up more. If you're feeling like you could go a little bit deeper, keep rounding the spine and let's pump those arms. We go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back down to the elbows. Actually, we haven't done this one yet. I'm going to move my blanket away and we're going to have our hands on the floor, elbows underneath the shoulders. Notice if you're slumping, I want you to lift the chest proud. Knees are facing the sky. Single clam, open and close. Again, hips trying to stay facing the roof. We open one knee at a time. Notice if you're rolling the hips around, make the movement smaller. Chest proud. So when we slump into our shoulders, we're going to feel that in the neck and shoulders. When we keep our chest proud, we're working the core and the arms. Good, let's go for 4 more. Nicely done. From here, go ahead and straighten both legs in front of you. Turn your hands out to the side, so elbows are rotated in. We're going to inhale and exhale. We're going to try and straighten the arms. Elbows bend, inhale, exhale, straighten. Now let's say you're not quite at that level. You can come on one elbow down first and then the other, so that you're just staggering each time. So you're just lowering one elbow down, lowering the other elbow down, pressing into one, pressing into the other. Make sure you're going down on the opposite elbow so we're getting that load distributed evenly. So the end goal is both elbows down and both up at the same time. Feet stay down. It's okay if you shake. I'm shaking a little bit when I come down. There's a little shake. Last one. Nice work. Stretch forward, reach for the toes. We're going to inhale, L-shaped spine, exhale, forward, see curved spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest. Imagine you've got a beach ball here in front of you, okay? Again, lengthen and roll forward. Feels so good on the spine. Take your time. Don't worry if I'm going a little bit faster or slower. Just listen to your body. Last one. Great. Bring your fingertips behind you. Let's all begin with our knees bent. Fingernails facing you, elbows tracking back behind you. We're going to inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift the hips up, keep the arms straight, and expand the hips and chest to the sky. Inhale, lower your bum to the floor. Exhale, lift your bum up to the sky. Don't worry if your hips don't get all the way to the top, just do your best. If you'd like, you can look up to the roof or you can keep your gaze forward in front of you, whatever feels right for your neck and shoulders. On our next one, we're going to stay up for 10, 9, 8, keep pressing down into the mat, 7, 6, keep lifting those hips, 5, breathe, notice how you're talking to yourself, you can do this, 3, 2, and 1, nice little roll out here. All right, we're going to roll down onto our back to finish off our last little core series again. Before we roll down, I just want you to super glue those heels into the floor, and I'm just gonna get you to watch this one. So you can have your knees bent or legs straight, and what we're going to do is we're going to take 8 counts slowly to roll down. Just keep watching for a moment. Good, smooth. We're going to take a big breath in and exhale. We're going to come back up for 8 counts. Now for some of us, this is what will happen. You will get down and you'll be like, oh, I got this, breath in. And when you come up, you might start to get stuck. And then you're like, oh gosh, what do I do? Don't lift your feet up because that's going to put a lot of load on your back. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to inhale, prepare. Exhale, use your elbow, hands to push up. And then you'll go again. You'll lie down, you'll take a breath in, and then you'll use the elbows to help you get up until you get stronger. All right, good luck. Here we go. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, round the spine. Take your time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Arms reach overhead. Get a nice big stretch for those shoulders. Breath in. Exhale, arms come down. Tuck the chin to the chest. 8, 7, peel off the ground. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got 2 more of those. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, round. 8, 7, tuck that tailbone under. Keep rolling back. 4, 3, don't rush. 2, lie down. Inhale, stretch those arms. Exhale, arms come forward. 8, 7, use your elbows if you get stuck. 5, don't lift those heels off the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Well done, everyone. 1 more to go. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, round. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Can you hover? 2. Lie down. 1. I'm going to be nice and not make you come back up. We'll stay here. Alrighty. Head is on the ground, hug one knee into the chest and extend the opposite leg away from you. Make sure it's off the floor. We're not resting that leg on the floor. We're just hovering. We're going to squeeze that knee into the chest using the arm strength. Take an inhale and exhale, switch. This time, let's hold this one. Let's enjoy this massage, especially in the hip crease, and really think about drawing the knee to your chest and lengthening down through the opposite leg. Take a breath in and switch. Let's go a bit faster. Take a breath in and switch. Take a breath in and switch. Maybe you want to go faster and add in percussive breath. Switch, exhale. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch, exhale, switch, exhale, switch for another 4, another 3, another 2, another 1. Rest. Let's do another set of that because it was so fun. But this time we're going to keep the head and shoulders lifted. Let's all begin by hugging the knees to the chest and lifting the head and shoulders off the floor. Nice. Hug the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg away from you. Let's hold here. I know you're excited to do that switch, but we're holding here. Take a breath in, exhale, switch. Hold this one in, knee into the chest, lengthen that leg, head and shoulders lifted. If your neck is really tired or sore, you can hold one hand behind the head. Here we go, we switch, switch. Exhale, switch, exhale, switch, exhale, switch. Here we go for another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest, everybody. All right, let me just see if we have time for 1 more. Yes, we do. So we're going to do 1 more exercise and then we'll finish up with a stretch. This is one where you might want to fold up your blanket underneath your bottom, just depending on how the lower back feels, but it can be quite supportive to have that there. We're coming into a Pilates V with the legs. Now, you may not be able to see, but this is the Pilates V. Heels together, toes apart. I also call it penguin. Legs are as straight as you can get them. We're going to click our heels together, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. I also call it the Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, because you're like, there's no place like home. There's no place like Pilates. There's no place like Pilates. Click those heels together. Great. Your feet are flexed and they're turning out. Your legs are straight and your legs are above your hip height. Hands relaxed, head and shoulders down. Keep clicking those heels together. We're starting to warm up the inner thighs as well. That's it. 15 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. If that was really hard for you, do that one again and don't change up anything. If you're ready for a challenge, we're starting to go down 2, 3, 4, 5 and up 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're starting to lower the legs down. Down 2, 3, still clicking the heels, coming back up. Keep the legs straight. Click those heels together. Come up, 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 up. And again, down, 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 up, 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 up. We're almost at stretch time, everyone. Nearly there. Down, down, down. Keep your spine imprinted. Keep your head down. You've got it. Last one. Down, 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 and up, 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 up. Well done. Ah, that feels good. All right, let's sit up for our stretch today. Let's sit cross-legged and just start to circle the body. Seeing how far you can circle the upper body. Eventually, you'll be able to kiss the ground. All right, that top leg is going to straighten in front of you, and you're going to reach forward, stretching the back of the leg. So just a little appreciation for finishing the practice, for making it through, for participating. Now we can start to slow down our breath, feel the stretch. It might feel like a bit of a challenge to stretch, but our body needs it so, so, so much. Let's take that same leg out to the corner a little bit. Not too much. We still want to keep our hips square on. We'll reach to that foot and then reach the top arm up for a side stretch. Maybe we can take the gaze up, feeling that nice big side lengthen. We also have stretch and mobility classes on our timetable, and we've put them on to really complement as well, especially after a big work day, or some of us are quite active during the day and need to stretch, or some of us have jobs that are sitting down a lot, so it's really good to release. Some of it will be static stretches, some will be dynamic, some will be myofascial release. So our instructors are incredible at delivering epic mobility and stretch classes. Good, now we're going to reach for the foot again, feeling the stretch perhaps in the lower back now. Don't worry if you can't grab your foot, you can grab your ankle, you can grab your calf, just keep stretching. Now we're going to slide the hands down the middle. You can bring your elbows down, you can bring your forehead down. Again, just wherever you're at, be happy, be grateful that you are able to sit in this position. And we'll take a few slow, deep breaths here. Nice. Let's do that all again on the other leg. So now we're going to switch the other leg in front. And if you can't remember which leg you started with, do your least favorite leg now, because it's most likely that you did your favorite leg first. So we'll start with those circles, big juicy circles. Exhale. So I've been teaching for over 10 years now. I started practicing yoga when I was about 15, I went to my GP because I was feeling quite down, and she recommended I started yoga. And so I just joined a local gym and yeah, fell in love with yoga and Pilates. And as a dancer, I wanted to get to know my body a little bit more. So that's why I got into Pilates and haven't looked back since. I really, really love both practicing and teaching. All right, let's go ahead and straighten that leg in front of you, keeping the other leg in a butterfly, squared the shoulders and hips, and then you're reaching forward to the long leg. Some people like to ask me how many people do we fit in our studio space, and it really depends on peak time and classes. But sometimes they're as intimate as 4 students, which we love, and then sometimes it's as big as 12. We make sure that we can keep our eyes on everyone. We love to do hands-on assists if you're comfortable. It's really important that we're keeping our eyes on your alignment and make sure that you're practicing in your potential. Nice. Let's go ahead and open that leg out to the corner a little bit, and we take the side body stretch. We are open 7 days a week. We have classes early in the morning. Some of them community classes start at 6:15 a.m. and some of our evening classes finish at 8:45 p.m. So just depending on what time you can get into the studio. Oh, feels so good. Very normal if one side of the body is a little tighter than the other. Beautiful. And let's rotate the chest, torso over the leg. And we'll finish by gliding our arms down in front of us. We'll bring ourselves up. Nice work, everyone. Big smile, big clap. You are done. And maybe see you soon.